7 is the number of champions, which is why I'd like to... I would like to invite all of you gamers and champions alike to episode 7 of Black Butler. I need to rehearse better sometimes. Welcome to episode 7 of Black Butler. Thank you all for being here. And I want to take a quick second to thank 2 whole people in the last week since the last episode came out who joined up with Patreon. Thank you all so much. You know who you are. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I actually could not do this without every single one of you. And I want to thank the nearly 50 people who even decided to check it out. It means a whole lot to me. Why does my hair volume? One of the greatest questions of all time. Another great question is, why does CL the way he is? Honestly, does CL is gay? Questions that we will never ever know the answer to. Ever. We will never know that, and we just won't. It's not possible. Also, I hit my bounce pad recently. Bend over. Oh, God. See? It fills in a lot nicer, doesn't it? No? Well, then just leave a dislike on this video and get over yourself. As always, I will be reacting and responding to all of the comments of the last video. Be sure to watch that if you haven't already, and that will be at the end of the video. And without further ado, let's get into this video, the video that we're here for, the real meat potatoes. Ooh, no weird start. Oh, hold on. Wrong one. There we go. Sorry, my everything here is all whack because of when I was recording on my laptop. They talk to each other, kind of.
This area is off limits to civilians. It's a good thing I'm not one then. Forgive me, I didn't know it was you, sir. My being here is top secret. Tell no one of this, sir.
Guys, guess who I just saw? Who was it? Is it Edward or something like that?
Why must that family always ask for the unreasonable? Oh, here we are. Oh, my God! This is what he's involved himself in!
Yes. Werewolves.
I'm down to the final step now. I must
Maybe Edward's dad. I don't remember. Was that Green? Green Hill wasn't. No, Green Hill, because it was Green. Edward was not. Edward was Green Hill's. I can only think of the word that might get me demonetized. The manga word for what they are. Drudge. Yeah. Anyway, I can't remember his name.
I have to perfect the ultimate spell. Then the werewolf's anger will cease. Life in the village will be peaceful once more. And they can come to visit me again.
They can. I can't wait until they do that. Bruh. Why didn't I turn off my notifications? How unprofessional of me. Smash dislike. The fruit top. Bro, I gotta take a second just to fawn and glaze over these fruit tarts. Oh, they're so good. That's so nice. If only. Where's the part in her head where she's married to CL? Wasn't that gonna be a thing?
time for.
It's done. I've solved it. I can fulfill my duty.
I'm so lost. Not really. I'm not really lost. I'm just not. I don't think my brain's working today, guys. Gonna have to deal with that. So she's figured out the spell, the grand spell.
Her Majesty would like the little witch to join her for tea. Really? As if it were that simple.
What monarchic selfishness? We should expect no less from the Queen.
We've not long before the morning. Begin the preparations for us to leave. I'll have further instructions for you in due course.
Yes, sir!
You will stay and help me dress. Then I want a more detailed report of all you have ascertained.
Of course.
And another thing. Bring me a morning tea that will wake me up more fully.
My lord, it shall be done.
Earl Grey, English breakfast tea. I don't know any German teas. I was gonna make a joke about that, but then I couldn't because I couldn't think of one.
A pact was forged in days gone by. Now I, descendant of the Emerald Witch, will see that pact fulfilled. Werwolf, look upon my work, my magic, the ultimate spell!
Alpha Wolves unite!
Oh, good. You're awake.
What happened? I recall finishing the spell and afterwards being overcome with a bone deep exhaustion.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You've worked very hard today. Now, let's get you into your night clothes.
Why do you make that ugly face?
Hmm?
Tell me, Wolf. Do you remember when I was made the Emerald Witch?
That image does not seem reassuring.
I'll never forget that day.
There's no need to look so downcast. To me, these feet are a mark of great pride. They show the world that I am a descendant of the great Emerald Witch. They bring me joy, especially this day, when I have completed one of the duties of my line. I wish I could remember what she looks like. The woman who gave me my life and my title. I wonder if she'd be pleased with me.
Of course she is. And us. Everyone is very proud of you.
Aw, cute.
Now that I have finally completed the spell, I find I don't know what is left for me to do as the Emerald Witch.
Well, I suppose.
Yes, that's it! I'll leave this forest and learn from the outside world! Then I'll come back and
You
have
cannot!
What?
You are the Emerald Witch, and I am your butler. Our laws forbid either of us from leaving Wolfsschlucht. You are tired, not thinking clearly. You need to sleep. I will fetch your night dress.
voids, and how do as you say.
Is there the possibility that there is no great spell, and that it was just some miscellaneous random quest? It's like, yeah, you did the thing. No, I don't think so, but it's got some vibes. Just some things going on in my noodle noggin I thought I'd share, because that's the whole point of having a microphone and a camera. I don't know how much of that scene is going to be on YouTube, because I didn't have much commentary for it, which means that the copyright is going to be stringent with them.
What was that?
Good evening, Lanesound Sullivan.
That's scary, but also... Where are you, Bassie? Where are you? Come to my window.
Come down, you fools, before you fall and die! How did you even get up there?
Is it so shocking? Don't all you witches fly around on broomsticks?
You can
He's so sassy again.
How is your mind?
I miss him.
A product of your care. I came to say thank you before we left.
Oh no, you... Oh, so that's it. You wanted to thank me intimately, and so you risked your lives and climbed my tower. How compelling.
Stop that!
You've come to... Also, he understands the German innuendos and such, which I think is funny that he climbed a tower for her so that she could climb his tower.
If you'll allow us, we'll show our gratitude by granting your heart's deepest desire.
I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. Explain.
We can take you beyond the forest.
You mean the outside world?
Correct. A land of untold knowledge and experience, bursting with wonders beyond your imagination. Shall we be off?
I can't. I am the Emerald Witch. By village law, I am forbidden to leave.
Very well. If that's more important to you, I apologize for my offer. Please, forget everything once you've closed the windows after us. Come morning, this will have been nothing more than a dream. Danke, Freund. Tschüss.
I love manipulative, cheesy CL.
No, I will go. I must. There are so many more things I want to know.
In that case, my lady, a change of clothes is in order. Any debutante worth her salt knows the first steps into a new world are taken in full regalia.
I am a blossoming debutante on a warpath. Name that reference. Let me know if you get that in the comments. I remember this is like it's like one of the best lines from this character from this amazing show. Let me know if you know a blossoming debutante on a warpath.
Your hand, if you please. 'Tis our honor to escort you into the unknown.
I also think it's funny that the two of them are so proud of themselves for tricking a girl who clearly really wanted to leave just because the queen was like, I want to have tea with her.
Going? I know these stairs, since they do not lead to the outside, only first into the Emerald Castle.
And yet the outside world lies just ahead of us.
What a non-answer. CL should be a politician.
Don't tell me that you went down that passage!
There are werewolves about. We wouldn't want to alert them, now would we?
Why not? They will all believe that she's being kidnapped. Not that she wants that, of course. Oh.
So this is a magic circle, then?
It's more like a freaky circle.
Finishing this was your great goal, I believe. Chief among your duties as the Emerald Witch.
How do you know this?
Duties.
Snake hissed it in my ear.
You speak with serpents. Sincerely, you must be a warlock, yes?
I'm no practitioner of the arcane. I am simply one hell of a butler.
You must have an extraordinary magical aptitude within you. What powerful children you'd make! Oh my...
Oi! That's quite enough of that, thank you. This isn't the time to be faffing about.
Correct. No fapping. No fapping about right now. There's zero fapping happening. Not even one of them is happening here.
This great goal that Sebastian mentioned, is it why you can't...
Also, Harlot arc, completely out the window. She's not better anymore. Takes a lot. You know what? It's brave of them. Just because you think you got over your addiction or your old ways doesn't mean that you can't fall right back in. How very brave, moving, and very important storytelling.
leave the forest? What are you meant to accomplish?
I told you the werewolf's miasma was harmful magic, but that is not the entire truth of it. The book says that long ago the Earth's atmosphere was abundant with magic. That magic, the miasma, is powerfully toxic to humans, but when
It's a demon. And a witch. And a witch. And a... dragon? Yeah, it's a dragon because it's got legs and wings. And those are werewolves. And that's a chicken. Giant chicken. I think that's a griffin. The snake.
magical beasts, it is as vital as oxygen. However, as humans prospered, the miasma waned until it was all but lost. Some believe this is why we witches have lost so much of our power as well. As the miasma dwindled, the werewolves lost their magic, and so they called upon the witches. They instructed us to create a wellspring of miasma as payment for their protecting the forest.
And did they? The witches?
All before.
So they're making a miasma because that's how they breathe, that's how they live, apparently. But the miasma is harmful to people, and it induces psychic and physical issues to even demons, which is weird, because I thought that the magical creature, one of them was a demon. I could have been wrong, but it did look like it. And yet Sebastian was also affected. Now, it very easily could just not have been a demon, but at the same time, the fact that even Sebastian was affected by it is... like, what could you possibly be making to, help the magical folk? That is so crazy for humans. And not witches, because apparently witches are different.
For generations we have labored.
I should make a VTuber model where I just talk like this.
Searching for a means to create miasma.
Sorry, I'm from upstate New York, which means that I say y'all, but I also say coffee.
This is my life's work, my offering to the werewolves. An invocation to activate the ultimate spell. Once cast, it will produce an
What are we talking about here?
infinite supply of miasma, more potent than any that's existed before. Exposure would mean certain deaths for a human, even just the smallest amount. It is nothing like what afflicted you. That was remnants of an ancient magic.
Was it now? You don't say. So that is the history they've been selling you. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. So, the miasma being potent to people on purpose, apparently still not affecting the werewolves, though. I'm being very caught up in the minutia of it, and I understand that. But still, what is their plot, their point? To take over the entire tri-state area is the best I got.
What are you trying to say?
No pre-watching. No pre-watching. If that ends up being the thing, which I'm sure it will, no pre-watch. 100% blind reaction.
Wait! Stop! No one other than the Emerald Witch may touch that altar!
My goodness. What happens if someone does?
Disaster baby!
I am very ready for some sort of answer that literally no one could have seen coming, because there's no way you could have known.
How can this be?
Are you ready, Lane Sarah? You stand at the threshold of the true outside world. If you'd like to turn back, now is your chance.
Onward.
Onward. And outward. Look, not to be that guy, but like the elevator that you had to get there was immaculate, but you couldn't spring for something a little better than a rusted out box. I'm just asking the questions. Actually, it's you too, Bono. Yo, there's that German VTuber who's been popping up on my For You page all the time, and I feel like I'd love to get a collab with this the Emerald Witch arc, but the problem is that that wouldn't make any sense. Still hit me up for a collab.
Oi, come back, you two.
Oi, come back here.
Shining pictures. Is this a new kind of magic?
Now that's curious. It looks like some of these dots are moving. Hold on. Is this a map of Wolfschlucht?
Oh, that's cheeky. You humans do think of the most fascinating...
When were radars invented? Like, not to be weird, I understand that sometimes rule of cool supersedes, like, timeline. It was discovered in 1886. The radio waves reflected off metallic objects. So the fundamental principle of radar is 1886, which this would be 88, I think. And this is 88. So still technically accurate, but technically they wouldn't have this.
Making things
Immersion broken.
What are
Sorry.
you getting at?
I believe this shining map is indeed Volksschlucht, and its moving dots the villagers.
You're mad. Something like that would be impossible.
Unless there's time travel. The doctor.
Is it the talismans?
They're machines, most likely, once emitting some sort of signal, which are then received and monitored where we now stand. Seems we were right to leave ours behind.
So this is how they protect people from the werewolves and their miasma. Who knew a mechanism could be so complex?
Those are lies! The talismans are made by the Elder offering special prayers on the night of the full!
I heard voices.
Hurry! Come quick! It's done after all this time.
Who were they?
Let's go and see.
They were men. Ew. Gross. So they're watching the people so that they don't set off the miasma? But then why miasma at all? Miasma to keep, because you're trying to keep them. It must be the N word with a hard R. Nuclear. Maybe it always was just the Philosopher's Stone.
What's this? Trophy?
It appears to be some sort of factory.
Hey, this reminds me of the Black Butler live action movie where he fought a werewolf dude, and they were in like a weird factory place. Sebastian had to fight him and then kick him into a deep pit. Madam Red was there, and you were there.
There are more lifts over here.
Chrissy, wake up. I don't like this.
Behold! Our Emerald Witch has at last fulfilled her life purpose!
Yay!
This vial holds a condensed miasma more powerful than any before it. It is the mighty sword that will change the course of history!
So they've got this crazy amount of stuff, and she's just been making the most potent miasma ever to sell on the black market as a weapon so that they can make money off of war. But they needed a witch to do that. With all the beakers and stuff. They needed a witch still. Yay!
What is the meaning of this madness?
It's the Emerald Witch. She can't be here like this.
No, she eated.
Are you feeling all right? Someone get her suit now.
How did upstairs let this happen? What's the reading?
It's green. Oh, thank goodness.
I don't understand. What's going on?
Please don't be scared.
What do you think, O Emerald Witch? This is the outside world. Delightfully shocking, is it not?
You're...
Oh. There were never any werewolves. There was a witch, though. Or maybe there were werewolves at one point. Maybe there's one that's a real one. Maybe. But that's not important. What's important is that she did magic so that they could make money. Which is weird. Oh. Now she's gonna go on like a murderous tirade, probably. You all lied to me. I will release the miasma upon you. I don't think so.
It's quite clever, building the masks into the snout of a wolf's head. Bit elaborate for a farce, though. There were never werewolves, just humans in wolves' clothes.
And there's no, like, CL just takes credit for everything Sebastian does. Because only Sebastian could have figured this out. There's no way at all CL figured this out. And even if he did, it doesn't make sense. Sebastian figured this out. Is there any way that you could have, without, like, just guessing out of the blue? I'm trying to think back to, like, there never being any. And I guess the question that I asked earlier, the fact that it affected wolves, or didn't affect wolves, but it did affect other people, would make sense, I guess.
The miasma was never magic.
It was never
a chemical
magic.
weapon made in this factory. A toxic gas. Magic beasts and curses don't exist.
They don't exist, but you know what does exist? People in masks just letting this child expose them.
It was all just a story made up to deceive you.
Way to let her down easy, dude.
No, it can't be. But then, if not magic, what did I create?
You made something far more wonderful than simple magic. What you made is undeniably real. When this fluid is vaporized, it brings death to all it touches. Even the slightest exposure will end most any living thing. Rejoice, bitch! You have...
Aren't you happy? Be happy! Be happy to this! Aren't you happy?
This world's the most powerful toxic gas in history! Such a profound breakthrough deserves a name that not only honors its origin, but its effects as well. Sullivan, letzte Waffe, ideal, Nibel. We take from each und build a name. Celine. No, wait! Sully! It shall be called Sulline gas!
So that's the episode. We found out exactly what everybody has been up to. The real reason why she was doing literally anything, and also finding out that the werewolves were not real. Never were real, honestly. I mean, there's gonna be some sort of, like, because we've got, that was 7, we've probably got 12 episodes, maybe 11. Either way, that's about 4 or 5 more episodes, which means that there's a little bit more to this. So I think we're gonna find some backstory next episode, or the episode after, where we find out that wolves and witches were real at some point. So CL wasn't wrong now, but was wrong that way we don't feel so bad for Lay Witch. But yeah, now I just am curious to see what happens with her going forward, because her entire life was a lie. She didn't even like her life. So it's not like she didn't know that, like, she'd wanted to be doing other things with her life. She'd wanted to go see the outside world. She didn't really want her feet bound. She sees it as like a mark of a great thing, which has also now just been shattered. So now she can't walk for. Now she can't walk, and it was all a lie anyway. Wolf, we've noticed her butler has been hiding something and felt horribly guilty this whole time. I'm really curious to see if he is ever going to redeem himself. That would be kind of fun to see him fight against the other wolves here. I still don't really understand why why it was made in the first place. You know what I mean? I just don't see why they wanted that. That was the thing. They needed a witch to make. 'Cause, like, I don't think they were trying super hard to... They were trying to hide it, right? They were trying to hide the fact that they were there. They had an eye on everyone in the town. Was everyone in the town in on it? The town is all women, I think. They might be... some might be in on it, some might not be. I'm leaning towards they all are, because why would they have a tracking device? Because they were given tracking devices, which is weird, but so is Sebastian and the whole gang. I don't know why they were given tracking devices specifically. That seems like a bad idea. Well, you'd have to keep up the ruse, which means that they're tricking everyone in the town. But why does everyone in the town need to be tracked? Just to keep them silent? To know where they are? To track who it was? To have a detail on them at all times? But then with Sebastian and Ciel leaving, they could have easily taken the pendant and dismantled it if they wanted to. But that would also take them... I mean, they'd be bored, break it on accident sometime? Who knows? It just seems kind of weird that they would just let them leave with the pendant. There's a couple of weird loose ends now, especially with the fact that you got a radar on everybody, a tracking device. But, you know, that's kind of neither here nor there. I mean, it is. It's kind of, it's important to know. But I will say, I am very interested to see how this is going to unfold, because the next episode and how they deal with Selin Sullivan. What's her name? The Emerald Witch name. Something Sullivan. Selin Sullivan. Okay, it was, in fact. Selin Sullivan. Sorry, it's just weird if you look at it spelled out. So you have Selin. It could make or break the show. Because so far, I've just kind of been like, this has just kind of been okay, especially with some of the comments that I'm about to get to. Stick around. Leave a comment if you want yours read, if you have anything to add. But before this, I was just kind of like, the reveals from last episode didn't really make it worth it, especially the fact that, according to some comments, we get a much bigger, better dive into the why and how and the circumstances surrounding Sebastian being summoned in the first place. And I think that it would be... so far, the season has not been my favorite. But the way that we deal with this witch realizing that her entire life was a lie, while also it all being like all of this, just seeing where they really tie it up is going to be very crucial for whether or not this one is my favorite arc or not. I still have to go back and rewatch Book of Circus because I completely forgot most of what happens there. And I just remember that being actually pretty great. So, let me know what you think in the comments of this episode. And I'm gonna hop on over to some chats, some comments. So, CL wants revenge. So, most of the comments are revolving around the fact that I thought that CL being like, I don't want revenge, I did it for me. There's a lot of comments talking about how, giving your perspective on what happened there, and I'm very happy to hear what you guys had said, and I might be skipping over a few because I did actually respond to a lot here. First on Patreon, Shush. CL wants revenge not just for his family. He does it because he wants to get revenge for himself. Yeah, but also he said he didn't do it for revenge. I understand what you're saying is he is getting revenge for himself, and he's not doing it for moral reasons. He's getting revenge. He's not getting revenge for his parents. He's getting revenge for himself, for his own self-need. And I feel like the wording wasn't great for that. And I think that even if the wording was there, it still would have been a bit of a letdown. Not as big, for sure. Trying to figure out the woman in the village being vague. That Butler Friendly is a spin-off where we get part of Doll's backstory as well as Sebastian trying to learn how to raise a child. That Butler requested as a spin-off of Arthur being sent to a dream world by Sebastian to help him fight writer's block. Yeah, those... You get like a CL in Wonderland. You know, they're good breaks. They're pretty good breaks. Devil 6 is a mini-series where Alistair tries to steal the power of CL's fangirls to make himself a main character. Guys, I love Alistair. He's terrible, but I love him. It then devolves into various characters fighting over this power to achieve various ends. Grell to properly turn herself into a woman, Grey to create chaos, Lizzie and Finny to protect CL better, and Snake to make Joker appear since Joker also had plenty of fangirls and thus the power to come back into the story. Undertaker tries to bring back Vincent using the power of his own fangirls. That sounds interesting. That sounds kind of like a part 2 to I think season 2's OVA was like about a mock behind the scenes. That was pretty epic. I think CL was lying to himself when he said he wanted revenge just for himself. The fact that he calls himself selfish for being the only survivor makes it seem so. The fact that he has survivor's guilt makes sense, and I think that diving into PTSD and survivor's guilt would be very interesting. I just think that episode specifically did not do a good job of showing that, and I don't think the build-up showed it. Maybe I'm just too noodle brain to figure it out, but in my opinion, I think that there are going to be better episodes that will explain it. Yes, one of the reasons Sebastian takes contracts is that takes contracts that don't want instant. Takes contractors that don't want instant gratification because it passes a time. However, the main reason is it flavors the soul. Yeah, that makes. I mean, it does make sense. I know we talked about this, but it had to do with. Alright, I mentioned this before, but it had to do with how Sebastian is very selective, and demons in general are very selective about who really gets a contract. They rarely ever do anything, which is weird world building for the demons in your story. That they rarely do anything. It seems like it's kind of cheaply trying to say, ooh, but CL is special for the reasons he has, and yet at the same time kind of failing at explaining why he's special. But from what everyone has been telling me in the comments, feel free to continue to tell me things in the comments, please. We're going to really figure out, like, it's just going to get explored more later. Yeah, I think the comic did a better job of showing how much Wolfram regretted standing by and letting his boss get her feet mutilated. Yeah, they did a better job this time showing exactly why he's upset. I always thought he was upset because he knew that he was doing something in this present moment that she would disapprove of. But I can see that his entire time being with her has been one disappointment over another, which I think would be a great story arc for Wolfram. Is it doesn't, like, it obviously matters all the times he is messed up, but it's what you do now in this moment. What are you going to do to try to make up for it? I think that is going to be really important. I hope that's part of his character arc. Now, on to YouTube. The specific word, Ghost Town says the specific word CL uses later in the manga is humiliation, in the sense that he feels a deep sense of shame from his trauma, and he wants the people who did this to him to feel the same humiliation and pain that he suffered. Yeah, no, I like that. I like the fact that it's shame, humiliation, and pain, and not just like straight pain. I like the fact that his trauma is thought out, and it's not just you hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you. It's like it is deep rooted, and it's like there are so many complex emotions about it. Benedict says CL admitting that he did it for himself is a cause of his survivor's guilt, and that guilt is the very thing that drives his quest for vengeance. CL knows his life is in constant threat to Sebastian. If his determination ever dwindles, he knows that Sebastian can end him, and that's why CL asserts his authority on Sebastian as to not let his resolve be questioned. And with all that, CL's stern, stoic look on his face is, I sense, fear. I think that's part of it. I don't think that's all of it. The way that he asserts himself over Sebastian, I think part of it is fear. I think it probably started off as fear, and I think that now, especially with, I think it was season 2, where they did the whole, like, month or two after the whole events of him being summoned, where CL was just like helpless and couldn't do anything, but Sebastian also used magic all the time, so they were learning from each other. That was a great episode. Great episode. I think that's where the fear was. I think now they both just have gotten used to each other, and while the fear isn't gone, I think that most of CL's character is like, I fear him for what he can do, but also I'm in charge of you, and I'm gonna put you in your place. And I think he's having fun doing that, because if you're in the predicament that he's in, you gotta find fun in a lot of, you gotta find the fun, man. Lucien, little specification with an added fun fact. The scene where CL wakes up from the state he was in isn't supposed to be us finding out that he made a contract with Sebastian to save himself and live. CL is giving up on his revenge, and the near-death experience he had just made him question if dying without his goal being achieved was worth it. He ended up admitting he wants revenge for himself rather than to avenge his family, and admitting that made him realize just how worth it would be to die after accomplishing it, not before, and cause him to wake up. We'll see more of this in later arcs, but CL doesn't exactly want to live, per se. He's at peace with the idea of it being over once his revenge is fulfilled. Here's a fun fact. Yana mentioned in one of her posts how other demons refer to Sebastian as gourmet pervert because demons usually eat whatever soul they encounter and make contracts left and right, but Sebastian only finds the most delicious souls to eat and starves himself until the time comes for an even tastier one. I thought Sebastian said that most demons don't make contracts. Maybe that's a little bit of a translation error. It meant he doesn't, Sebastian doesn't, or he was alluding to himself. Specifically, that's, you could make that argument, and, I think that'd be fair. I do think it is really funny that he is like, I will only have the best. The fact that CL woke up realizing that it just would be worth it, but it made him really question why. I think that makes sense. I think it could have been done better. I think that adding in, hinting towards the twins right now was the wrong call, because I think that right now you added in the twins, so then all my attention was on, CL is in a spot where he's talking to his twin, and I was just thinking about that in the dynamic there, when really it should have been two sides of CL. So I was confused there. So I think I would have held off on the twins until later, just to get rid of that confusion. Then it is just CL and his childlike sense where deep down, and then the darker part that's like, you gotta do this. I think there's that conflicting thing. And I think that they should have had more of a back and forth and less of a assertive, manipulative versus a shy and timid. I think it really would have been better if it was like instead of like the big rupture being kind of like the reveal of what CL wanted, it being what it was. I think it should have been a back and forth in CL's mind, especially if he was unconscious basically the whole time. Or maybe not, I don't know. But then if Sebastian came in and was like, well, you're deciding that you would rather give up on your dreams the way that he was talking anyway, I think that would have made way more sense, because at the end it was like, no, I'm deciding to hold on to this. So it would have been like two sides of CL, and it was like actually CL. There was like no question that it was this real CL versus brother CL, that it was actually just two sides of the same person, and then it being a back and forth of that. I think I would have done it a little bit differently, and I think that would have wrapped it up a little nicer. I think they were trying to hide a little too much, but anyway. Sebastian very much enjoys being CL's butler and takes that job very seriously. He finds their game as master and servant to be a very fun way to pass the time. I mean, if I was able to do just about anything at the wave of my hand, and now I'm being forced to be creative and better, honestly, I feel that. So many comments, guys. I love you so much. Well, there are many requirements necessary for making a pact with a demon. It's not that demons don't want to show up, but it's actually pretty hard for amateur humans to be able to summon one, since most of the times... Oh my gosh. Oh, you had such great insight. I don't know if it's accurate. Guys, if you want to go to Wanda Nimmer, go to Wanda's post. I'm so sorry, I'm a little too dyslexic. Go to Wanda's post, read that whole thing for yourself. It's very interesting. I don't know if it's accurate, but it's very in-depth. So let me know. That was a lot of very interesting stuff. Jillian is saying that there's much more 2 arcs from now. They'll see the entirety of how, when, where, why Sebastian is able to make their contract, but as mentioned, CL did not know he was he didn't know he was bartering for his soul. Oh. I don't think that. Wait, no. I think like season 1, episode 1 was like, was Sebastian Black, you do realize what you're giving up, right? You do realize that. Maybe not, maybe that'll be cleared up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's happening. Like, the first minute. CL's revelation on why he made the contract with Sebastian. We have to remember that CL isn't a reliable narrator. He's a skilled liar, especially to himself. That's an interesting way to think about it. I kind of like that. He still wants revenge, but for himself, not anyone else. At least that's what he tells himself. Is it true, or is it easier to not care about others? Who knows? His behavior is very in character, in my opinion, but his younger self, which he referred to here. About the riddle that you were talking about, that I'm very scared about, go back and see some more reactions. I'm very... You guys just keep bringing up that riddle to torment me, I swear. Tali says, don't worry, I don't have to like the fact, I don't have to like that episode. Thank you, Dolly, I really appreciate it. Don't ever change. I appreciate it. You guys are cool. You guys aren't tearing me to shreds, you're just giving me, like, opinions. I appreciate that. I appreciate that dialogue. You remember last year for season 4, almost as soon as that season started, we informed you that there'd be a total of 11 episodes. Oh yeah, there's 11 episodes, but we don't know how many episodes there are in season 5. Yeah. I actually thought there was going to be 12 episodes. I don't know if you told me. You'll have to go back and watch all of season 4 and tell me. More Crimson Boy react. More will be revealed after they adapt the next arc. It doesn't follow the spoiler about CL. You were told. Yeah, don't worry. I've already forgotten. Me little pea brain sometimes. And then Lucienne just giggling about the fact that in the last episode, I think I pinned the comment in the last episode, just time-stamped the part where I just go, gay. So you just click on it, you just hear gay. Alright, that's all of the comments. You guys are doing an amazing... You guys are just too cool. You guys are just too cool, honestly. For those of you who want to see the full episode, it's going to be on Patreon. Please be sure to stop by over there. And I appreciate everyone who does and who leaves a comment. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.